The courtroom was buzzing even before the cameras started rolling. Two young women stood at opposite ends of the plaintiff's podium, both glaring at each other like they were about to explode. You could tell, right from the start, this wasn't just a normal day in Judge Judy's court. Judge Judy took her seat, glanced at the file, and gave that look everyone knows, the one that says, "This is going to be ridiculous." "Case of Arnold versus Dancer," Bird announced. Judy flipped through the pages. "Assault? Over what?" Both women started talking at once. "She hit me. She came at me first." Judy banged her gavel. "One at a time." She looked at the plaintiff first, Alyssa Arnold, a 23-year-old with fire in her eyes. Then at the defendant, Destiny Dancer, 22, visibly annoyed but trying to keep it together. Then Judge Judy asked the question that set the tone for the entire case. "What were you two fighting about?" There was a pause. A silence that felt heavier than the courtroom air. Finally, Destiny muttered, "Over him." Judy blinked. "Over who?" Alyssa pointed. "Darius Nash." And that's when the entire courtroom erupted in laughter. Judge Judy raised an eyebrow. "Wait. You're telling me two grown women are in court, over this man?" She turned the page, saw his details, and nearly laughed herself. Unemployed. 22. Living with his mother. No car. 2 kids. And you're fighting over him? The audience couldn't hold back their laughter. Bird shook his head, trying not to smile. Judy leaned back, sighing. "Ladies, I've seen a lot in my courtroom, but this might just win the prize." The tension, the absurdity, the sheer drama, it all built up like a live reality show. And yet, under all the humor, there was something deeper, a story of jealousy, insecurity, and two young women tangled in a relationship triangle they didn't know how to escape. But Judge Judy? She was ready to cut through all of it, with her signature honesty and wit. "All right," she said. "Let's hear about your Prince Charming. Maybe I'll understand why he's worth a black eye." When Darius walked in, the audience instantly understood Judge Judy's disbelief. He looked nervous, clean-cut but clueless, like a kid caught in something way bigger than himself. Judge Judy didn't waste a second. "How old are you, Mr. Nash?" 22. She nodded slowly. "Do you work?" He hesitated. "Not at the moment, ma'am. I'm waiting for a call from a temp service." The audience chuckled. Judy tilted her head. "So you're unemployed?" "Well, kinda." "No," she interrupted, "that's a yes or no question." "Yes, ma'am," he admitted. She continued, "Do you live alone?" He shook his head. "With my mom and sister." "And do they work?" "My mom's a teacher." Judy blinked again. "So your mother, the teacher, is supporting you, your fiancé, and your baby?" Darius nodded, clearly uncomfortable. The audience burst into laughter again. Bird smirked, and even Judy couldn't help the small smile creeping across her face. "You have one child?" she asked. "Yes, ma'am." "And your girlfriend's pregnant again?" "Yes, ma'am." "Wonderful," she said sarcastically. "You can't even support yourself, but you're expanding the family. Brilliant plan." Laughter rolled through the room. Judge Judy tapped her pen. "So, just to confirm, no steady job, living at home, your mom pays the bills, and you're juggling 2 women?" Darius sighed. "It's complicated." Judy shot back, "No, it's stupid." That line sent the room into applause. Now she turned to the women. "Destiny, you're with him now?" "Yes." "And Alyssa, you were with him before?" "Yes, back in high school." "So let me get this straight," Judy said, pacing her words. "You dated him when you were teenagers, broke up years ago, and somehow, years later, you two ended up fighting over him again?" Both nodded, Awkwardly. Judy's face said it all. Let me tell you something. I've handled million-dollar lawsuits, family feuds, and neighbor wars, but never two women brawling over a part-time temp. The audience howled with laughter. And just like that, Judge Judy's tone shifted, from amused to curious. She wanted to know how this ridiculous love triangle turned into a violent fight. Because in her courtroom, even nonsense has a story behind it. Judge Judy looked at Alyssa. Start from the beginning. Alyssa took a deep breath. Me and Darius dated back in high school. 2014, we were together for 6 months. He was my first love. Judy nodded. And then you broke up? Yes. He stopped calling, and I moved on. Judy turned to Destiny. You met him when? In 2015. We met at a friend's party. So, no overlap? Judy asked. Destiny shook her head. But Alyssa interrupted, he was still texting me in 2015. Destiny snapped back, that's not my fault. Judy slammed the gavel. Quiet. You're not on social media. You're in my courtroom. The audience erupted in laughter again. Then Judy asked Alyssa, when was your last contact with him before this fight? Alyssa looked nervous. Summer 2016. I called to say hi. And what happened? Judy pressed. He hung up. Destiny jumped in, I was beside him when she called. We laughed about it. Judy turned sharply. You laughed? Destiny nodded, grinning nervously. Why? Judy asked. Because it was funny. Judy raised an eyebrow. Funny? You thought it was funny that a girl called a guy she used to date, and you both mocked her? Silence. Judy sighed. And then, a year later, you two end up throwing punches in a parking lot. Over this unemployed Romeo? Everyone laughed again, even Alyssa cracked a small smile. Judge Judy, though, was dead serious beneath the humor. You both need to grow up. This isn't about him anymore. It's about ego. And she was right. This wasn't love, it was leftover anger from a teenage breakup that never healed. Alyssa never got closure, and Destiny never felt secure. That combination. Explosive. Judy leaned back, folding her arms. I've seen women fight over money, over property, but this? This is a fight over fantasy. You're both angry about what you thought he was, not who he really is. The audience murmured in agreement. And for the first time, both women looked embarrassed, maybe realizing Judy had just read them better than they ever read themselves. Now came the messy part, the fight. It happened outside a local grocery store, June 25, 2017. Alyssa said she was shopping when she saw Darius and Destiny together. She froze. Old memories flooded back, high school dances, texts, heartbreak. I just wanted to ignore them, she told the judge. But she looked at me and laughed. Destiny interrupted, I didn't laugh. I just said, some people never move on. Judy's jaw dropped. You said that in public? What did you expect her to do, clap? The courtroom exploded with laughter. Destiny's smile faded fast. Then what happened? Judy asked. Alyssa replied, we started arguing. She pushed me. Destiny shouted, she swung first. Judy slammed the gavel. Stop. I don't care who hit who. You both look ridiculous. According to witnesses, groceries were everywhere, apples rolling under cars, people shouting, someone filming on their phone. Police were called, and both were charged with disorderly conduct. In court, they tried blaming each other. But Judy wasn't buying it. She leaned forward. Two women, one parking lot, one useless man, and chaos. That's what this sounds like. Laughter echoed again. Then Judy turned to Darius. "Mr. Nash, where were you while this catfight was happening?" He hesitated. In the car." Judy blinked. "In the car?" "Yes, ma'am." "So you just sat there?" "I didn't want to get involved." The audience erupted again. Judy threw her pen down. "You didn't want to get involved? They're fighting over you. The least you could have done was grab a grocery bag and defend yourself." By now, everyone, even Bird, was laughing so hard the tension had melted away. But under the laughter, Judy's point was crystal clear. Immaturity, pride, and bad choices. That's what started this entire mess. Finally, Judy took a deep breath. She looked exhausted, amused, and slightly sympathetic, all at once. "All right," she said. "Here's my ruling." Both women straightened up. "Neither of you are innocent," Judy said firmly. "You both acted like fools in public. So I'm dismissing both claims. No money. No damages. Just embarrassment." The courtroom laughed and applauded. Then she turned to Darius. "Mr. Nash," she said slowly, "if two women are going to fight over you, the least you could do is earn it. Get a job. Get your own place. Be a man worth fighting for." The audience cheered. Darius nodded sheepishly. Judy wasn't done. "To the ladies, I hope this is a lesson. If a man isn't lifting you up, don't lower yourself to fight for him." That line hit home. Destiny looked away. Alyssa wiped a tear. Judy's mix of truth and sarcasm had struck deep. By the end, everyone in the courtroom had learned something, or at least laughed enough to remember it. As Bird called the next case, Judy leaned back in her chair, muttering, "Fighting over him. I've seen everything now." That clip went viral, millions watched it online, laughing, quoting, and learning from it. Not because of the fight, but because of Judge Judy's wit and wisdom. She'd turned chaos into comedy, and stupidity into a life lesson. Sometimes, people fight for love without realizing what love really means. But as Judge Judy showed that day, respect, responsibility, and common sense are worth more than any romance gone wrong. Because when you end up in court over someone who isn't even trying, maybe the real fight isn't for love, it's for your self-respect.